Hello, Danielle.
Hi, Lilou. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you for accepting this interview in English because we just did it in French, and I think it's so important to talk about it right now. And I'm definitely happy that you're playing the game and you're just doing it in English for us. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
So
I'll do
tell
my
us.
best with my.
We'll understand. We'll understand. Or otherwise, if there is a word, I'll try to translate it. But the main thing is the message, your message, and what you're learning from. You're an astrologer. You're an intuitive astrologer. So you have this capacity to understand what is going on, and because a lot of us went through some turmoil, some difficult moments this summer,
Yes,
and you actually can
yes,
understand that with the planet. It makes perfect sense to you, doesn't it?
absolutely. Yes. Summer 2010 is for sure an historical moment planet-wise. All astrologers seeing it arrive, and we're talking about it since the beginning of the year. And there's really encounters in the sky in this specific summer that are extremely rare and extremely tense also, so there's a mixture of, I will say, cleansing the past, memories from the unconscious coming at the surface of the consciousness, asking for our attention, our love, our acceptance, but what is really particular is the intensity of the process. It's like if the time is compressing, it feels extremely weird sometimes, like if in one day we can go through so many things, it can create some little symptoms, extreme fatigue, for example, but it depends on each person. But the more intense we have to know was July, okay? Then in August,
That's
I
good.
will. Oh yeah, there's also many big square in the sky. It's for sure. We will see some tension on the planets. With the climates and catastrophe, maybe international tension. Okay, on an individual aspect, the best we could do, is to stay very close to ourselves, very focused, very calm, and even sometimes shut down, from the outside, just to be with ourselves and take care and make what the guides call transmutation, which is taking these emotions and by our love, actually self-love, just rising, rising them. Okay, then fall arrives, September arrived, and that's a very good news because we can say for sure that with September 14, when the planet Pluto will pass from retrograde to direct, then we'll feel more at ease. We have our idea will be more clear. We have energy to go and start project, which is very difficult in this summer. It's not a time this summer to start new things, but with September it's very good. And then there's another, really, a door, a very large door, even bigger, that open at what we call the fall equinox, where it will be September 23rd. And after that, October is a very smooth month, astrologically wise. So I think we can say sky is blue, and then we got
Nice.
we always also will feel, I think, a kind of récolte. I don't know how to say in English.
Like harvesting.
Exactly. Yeah, by the end of September and October, it will be the harvest of this difficult summer, and it will be beautiful. I'm quite sure of that. And then for the planet, Earth planet, I will say, I think there's other turmoil for November. I see a possibility of other cycle of earthquakes, or I don't know, but it can be a little rocky by going to the end of the year, okay? But we'll see.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to say your English is fantastic. It's great.
Thank you.
So,
It's been
there's
it's
no
been a
fear.
while.
There's some kind of little past life fears there. I don't know.
No, it's good because I mean I stay in the state for 6 years, and but now that I'm in Montreal, I'm always speaking French.
Yeah.
That's why,
No, I can perfectly understand. So, really, what you were saying too is that it's a time where we can just clean up the past karma of many, many lifetime right now. That's what we're doing. It's possible. There's something karmically that is happening that allows this to happen in a short amount of space. So we're living more in a shorter time, but
Absolutely.
alchemizing, or I don't know how to say this in English, but transmuting whatever is there into new energies.
Yeah. The guides even said that we had a golden opportunity, spiritual wise, to burn, let's put it that way, to burn in a very short time the karma that otherwise will take many, many reincarnation. So that's the gift, And they even said that we are conscious only of 10% of what's really happening soul-wise, actually, So that's why we sometimes we feel very tired, confused, like a kind of a brouillard.
Yeah, like a fog.
Yeah, here,
Yeah. And you went through, tell us quickly your story and what happened to you personally, because I thought that was really interesting.
In July.
In July, yeah.
Yeah, I was supposed to start writing this special newsletter at the start of July, but each time I was arriving in my office, I mean, it was crazy. I had literally no brain. I was sitting there, and at one time I realized I had been sitting there for 6 hours and I did not see nothing. I'm kind of used of this little psychic word stage, but one day it's okay. But 1 month I never experienced quite a thing like that. And I was trying to force my process. I know people were waiting for the newsletter, and I said I had to do something, but weeks just passed by like a no man's land. Actually, it was so weird, and at the point actually that I felt like I don't know how to say that in English. Yeah.
You were kneeling.
Absolutely, it was a really humble experience for me to see that my role is to communicate message from the planets. Planets are not an abstraction. They are real inside me, and I had to open my heart. Actually, I had to work from my heart, even a lot bigger and larger than what I thought I was already doing, So finally the message came true when I totally surrender with whatever. This newsletter will arrive when it will arrive, and then slowly I could come back to the computer and start working, So and then what I also found interesting is that I could observe that like you said, for many people, this summer is really an intense and not normal, but we do not need to fear that at all.
Yeah. But it's sometimes it's scary when we go through those moments, because we see how much, when we don't have the connection anymore, when we've been used to use that connection, what are we? We're just very actually dependent then on the universe, on our universal connection.
Absolutely. I felt lost because nothing of what I'm used to do, what I call my toolbox, like meditation was not working, actually, I have to say something. There's only one practice, what I will call a practice, that did work in that July, and it was connecting with nature.
Yeah.
What I found was very interesting, actually, because it was really like yin. You see what I mean by yin? It was very like feminine thing, like when I want to do something, nothing worked, but if I was walking around, because this is beautiful nature around here, I mean, I never had experience like that with nature. It was almost like if the trees were talking to me, the birds, but it was another world. It was not the mind and doing something, achieving something. That no.
It was more on an energetic level too. That some things needed to just happen.
Absolutely. And as I wrote actually in the newsletter, it's interesting. I found out like a teaching out of this month of July is that when everything seems so chaotic, and that you think that nothing is happening, actually, this is when things really happen. This is what I felt afterward, that something really happened when I thought that nothing was happening.
So can you tell us finally the two dates? You said there's two kind of pivotal dates coming up.
Yeah. I want to open this date like ahead of us, which are September 14. Okay, this is Pluto coming direct, and it will make an atmosphere very more lighter, And then there's the fall equinox, which happened to be September 23rd. After that, we'll see I think a really big difference in the energy, in the clarity, in the possibility to be very efficient in action. And actually guides are asking us to go toward efficient action, to build a new world.
So there's nothing really that we need to do about those days, is there? Or is it just something just to know and be conscious of?
Not around September 14, but around September 23rd. I think it's if you like to do any kind of ritual, it's a very good day to launch anything new, a little bit like a new moon process, like a new beginning, it could be I will say few day before, few day after, but around September 23rd, absolutely, it's a very good day to do any kind of ritual.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Right on that. I'm going to mark that in my calendar right now.
Absolutely. To launch anything new.
Perfect. Danielle, thank you so much.
It's all my pleasure.
For doing this in English. That was really, really cool. Thank you.
I'm happy that I went through this English interview.